because as he said, I haven't experienced that and also kind of what Coach Ruffin said, where he worked. Well, I was a street kid, you know what I mean? So that entire area of Greenville, that element of Greenville where the crime and the drugs and the low-income areas and the conviction rates go sky high and all that. That's my background. But so I went through a lot of those wars. I went through the violence, and I got a lot of scars. And you see the chip tooth and all that stuff. None of this stuff came by accident or me falling. It came because I went through it face first, head first. So I got a chance to see and experience some things that a lot of people did not survive. But those experiences gave me the opportunity to come back because I did survive and be able to tell y'all, hey, this is what it is. This is what the battlefield looks like. This is what the war zone looks like. I can tell you that there's going to be snipers on your right and shooters on your left and people facing you this way and how your friends are going to fall apart in this way if you let it, and so forth and so on. I can tell you about it. But as it relates to education, I was asked to put an article in a local magazine about a month ago, and I entitled the article, Education or Not? Right? Just that question, education or not? Because if not education, then what? And somebody, please, if someone has an answer to that. If you're not going to do education, then what are you going to do?
The streets.
Be on the streets?
Job, work.
Job, I heard job. What else? Work. Jail. All right, so because a lot of times we do a lot of talking, man, but nobody seems to explain to us really what's going on. So let me give you some game real quick, right? There's a concept called the education track. You're on it now. And it occurred to me in writing this article that our society only has one track. And that's it. It's the education track. That is it. So when I call something a track, I'm saying that it's a program system set up to where if you just get on it, there's so much money and so many resources poured into this one track. There are educators, instructors, teachers, guidance counselors, transportation drivers to pick you up and bring you back. There's so many resources poured into this education track to make sure that everybody that gets on it moves forward and progresses in life. So this kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, this thing isn't by chance. It's set up so that if you complete the work, you automatically move on to the next level. So you guys are in high school now, and let me tell you though, it stops here. This is the last phase where people will automatically pass you to the next level. Everything after this, you actually have to apply yourself. See, once you graduate the 11th grade, all you have to do is graduate, and you're in the 12th. You get what I'm saying? Once that's over, though, there is no one that's going to say, great, you did so well in the 12th, that we're going to place you on the next level. That's it. So let me back up a little bit and talk about this education track, because I believe it's worth mentioning again that this is the only track our society has invented or created to help people move forward. Now, when we talked about those other options like jobs and things of that nature, those exist. So you can actually leave school and say, I'm going to work. The catch is, though, that's not a track. The work system is not set up to where they have tons of instructors and teachers and guidance counselors and people to take you back and forth. The entire city has not supported that track. There's not enough support there to ensure your success. So once you leave the education track, you are on your own. And you're kind of drifting in society. You're just out there. So once a person leaves school, you don't really know if they're doing well or not. There's no grade, so they're just kind of like floating out there. And once you get out there, if you're having problems then, because there isn't any support, the only person there that's there to pick you up or identify people who are having problems are the police. That's the only other group of people who are paid in mass numbers to patrol the streets and identify people who are having problems, having struggles, or anything like that. So, until you get identified by the police, maybe through a criminal charge or something, no one's really out there to get you. There's some agencies and some youth groups and things of that nature who are out there, but they're so small in number. But the police are large in number, and I'm not saying that they're a negative thing. I'm saying that our society really hasn't put together a lot for you outside of the education track. So, there's this thing we talk about education. Everybody's saying that education relates to jobs and better money and so forth and so on. Well, let me break that down for you real quick. A few phrases. Like I mentioned before, low income, crime, poverty, and wealth. This is what we're really talking about, right? We're really talking about the difference between poverty and wealth, how successful you guys are going to be, how much you're going to be able to provide for your families, loved ones, so forth and so on. Success and poverty, or wealth and poverty. So, there are levels of success, and in society we call it class system. So you got like low class, middle class, high class, upper class. And the statistics say that class systems duplicate themselves. Let me explain what a class, and how they figure your class is. Here's an interesting fact. They figure out your class by your parents' education level and income level, and then something that they call occupational prestige. So class is not just how much money you have. There are some people who exist in the high class just based off their money, but those are people that we call independently wealthy. That means that they got there, they don't have a particular job like a doctor that affords them a certain level of respect, they just got money, and they up there. But for the most part, when they put people in a class, it's based off of your parents' education level and income level, and then your occupational prestige. Now me, again, I don't make enough money to be, I consider myself, I guess I would call myself middle class, but not because of the money I make. I don't think I make enough money to be called middle class, but the roles I play in society afford me prestige. So by me being a college outreach specialist for Pitt Community College, I get to stand up here and in a respectable manner, I serve at City Hall on some commissions and things of that nature, which get me in the room with some local politicians and city leaders and things of that nature. So those things might boost my class level up a little bit because I'm surrounded by more middle class people. But let's back up to, why do you think they put your education level your class level based off of your parents' education level and income level? Can someone tell me why? Think about this. Tell me why they would base your class off of your parents' education level and income level. Because that's where you come from. In a nutshell. And they say that class duplicates itself. So there's this concept I looked at called the education elevator, right? If it continues to go up from kindergarten through 12, and then some sort of career training, an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, so forth and so on, you can ride this education elevator as high as you would like it to go. But here's the catch. At whatever point you decide to get off of that elevator, when the doors open up to that elevator, you're going to see certain things. So I'm going to ask you guys another question. if you decide to get off the education elevator at the 12th grade level, when the doors open up, you're going to exit that elevator and you're going to see other people who have an education level around that spot. 12th grade, 11th grade, maybe a little bit of college. So if you get off that elevator on the 12th grade level, somebody help me out. What are you likely to see? Let's say if that elevator door opens up and it puts you in a neighborhood where everybody in that neighborhood has a 12th grade education. 11th grade, 10th grade, somewhere around that number. What are you going to see in that neighborhood? I'm sorry? What was that? I can't let you off the hook for this question, so I'm going to ask it again. If you get off of your education track, that education elevator at the 12th grade, and let's say, hypothetically, the doors open up at the 12th grade level and it spits you out into society. It puts you out into a neighborhood where everybody in that neighborhood has about the same education level. What are you likely to see? What types of things are you going to see going on?
Trader.
What's that?
Trader.
I'm sorry?
Trader.
You going to see a lot of what?
He said trailers. So you're
Trailers?
saying they
Yeah,
never
okay.
graduated, it's just 12th grade, that's it.
That's right.
He said trailers.
You're going to see a lot of trailers. So I guess we're associating trailers with some low income, poverty. What's that? Okay, poor hygiene, things of that nature. Absolutely. You say yellow tape, right? Yellow tape, crime, drugs. So now, how is it that society has it down packed so tight that if you get off this elevator right now, we already know what you're going to be looking at? And it doesn't mean that you're smart or you're dumb, but if you put yourself in an area where nobody got educated, then that's your class system. And that's what your children are going to have to face. Those are the obstacles that you're going to have to go through. Now, let's say if you go a level higher and you get off at the associate's or bachelor's level degree, and then the elevator spits you out and you go out into the community. Tell me some things you're going to see at that level. If you take the education elevator higher, you stay on and then you get off after you've achieved maybe an associate's or a bachelor's degree. And then you get off the elevator. Wow, you're going to see more successful people, better homes, less crime.
Manicure.
Houses, cars, manicured lawns, talk about it. I mean, listen, so it makes me ask the question, how is it that society has it so down packed that they can judge your education level and your parents' level and tell exactly what situation you're going to be in? It's that simple. That's how the education elevator is set up. Now, let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about class duplication. Why they say class duplicates itself. Let's say if a person's parents all got bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and all their friends and their parents got bachelor's and master's degrees. They typically didn't grow up in an area where high school, and he comes from a better really causing no trouble. I'm not engaged in all the beefing and all the shooting and stuff like that. But you are surrounded by people who are angry, high, coked up, weeded up. Most of them got poor coping skills. So when they get mad, it generally erupts into violence. You immerse yourself in it. I don't care how cool you think you are. You cannot immerse yourself in that and expect to come out. So when a guy like me makes it out, the whole world is like, yeah, he made it. Woo, he made it. And I'll be like, if I came from an area that's so bad that you got to clap because I made it, something's wrong here, bro. Now, I don't blame my parents or the situation or anything like that. They did what they could do, they knew what they knew. But my point is, man, if nobody's gonna make it, listen, nobody's going to make it. I'm gonna give you another concept called class mobility. This term describes the number of people that are born into a class that by the time they die, they make it into another class. You get what I'm saying? They rise up in class before they die. Do you know what the numbers on class mobility? Now, when I'm not talking about low class. That means that if you're in low class, if you're born into low class, you made it to lower middle. If you're born in lower middle, you made it to middle. If you're born in middle, you made it to middle upper, so forth and so on. What do you think is the percentage of people who make it? Give me a percentage of people who actually do that. Alright, so I'm hearing 22, 44, 5, all types of numbers, right? Let me give you some more games, right? Around the world, the number is like 3%. Now, I'm not a statistician, but these are just things that I have researched and read. So the numbers can change, but this is what I'm giving you. So please do your own research. The numbers around the world, last time I saw, were 3%, and America is not even ranked high on that. So in America, we're doing more like 2%. So listen to what that's telling you. That means that every environment is at a stalemate. Nobody's making it out. That's why they clap when someone like me makes it out, because no one has yet to figure out how you can be born into something. Get so used to it that you're going to love it, call it, identify yourself by it. So we identify hood or low-income people. We call ourselves hood. We call ourselves street, whatever. We walk a certain way, we talk a certain way. I hunch my shoulders, clench my fists, I talk like this, and I say whatever. To me, that's what makes me who I am. So once you identify yourself by those character traits, now all of a sudden that's you. Now the truth is, it's not you. Because when you were born, you weren't talking like that or walking like that. You pick those traits up by being in the environment. But let's forego that conversation.
Where you at?
What I'm saying is that no one has figured out how to be born into something
It's about to be done.
and make it out.
He wasn't even supposed to go over there.
So when they look at low-income people, I always get on some of my colleagues because they say, the poor people, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not taking advantage of the opportunities. And I'll be like, hold up now. Nobody's making it. Even in middle-class society, they have not figured out what it takes to make it to high class. No one's making it. The only catch is, though, if you don't make it. See, because middle-class society, even if they don't figure it out, they're still okay. Their daughters aren't going to get it. Their sons aren't going to get gang-banged out, drugged out, jailed out, so forth and so on. So even if they don't figure it out, they're still going to be okay. High-class society, if they don't figure it out, they're still okay. But if you don't figure it out, You, your buddies, your friends, your daughters, your sons, your cousins, uncles. I'm telling you the truth, fellas. Because all my friends, I was born with two brothers. I don't really know my brothers on my dad's side, but the brothers that were raised in my house with me, I'm the only one in the streets. They're all in prison. I'm the only one left. And all my friends, either doped up, locked up, dead. So there's about a few of us who can call each other on the phone and talk about the advancement and the struggle that we're going through. The rest of them, if they are not locked up or dead, we can't even hold this level of conversation with them because they got moved out by the game. So what I'm telling you is right now, while your minds are fresh and it really hasn't taken its toll on you like that, you have an opportunity to pick whatever floor you would like to get off the elevator on. You can say, I'm fine here, this is my floor. Just because you're familiar with that environment. Because when I'm in a hotel and I get on the elevator, I hit the button that's my floor. And when I get off the elevator, I know my room is around the corner. I check my ticket and I say, okay, I'm room 455, I'm on the 4th floor. My room's around the corner. I walk like I know where I am. So you can get off the elevator at the place you know, or you can continue rising. But this is the only track, and society has not prepared a really sure way for you, brothers. I'll give you an indication, and I hate to bring up the high schoolers, but in much respect to all my high school guys, my administrators, let me tell you something that always struck me odd about high school. There's a college, have any of you ever heard of the college track in high school? Nobody's heard of it. But to my administrators, isn't that interesting though? That these young people have not heard of the college track. Okay. Because I thought that school was the college track. I thought that if you were in school, you were on the college track, but no. There's a smaller track of people who are taking college prep courses, honors advanced courses, and things of that nature, and they are the ones who identify as college track. Everyone else. Now, it could be because you didn't raise your hand and sign up for those college prep courses. It could be your parents didn't show up and say, hey, my child's going to college. But whatever it is, they've already figured out that they can't help all of you. So they have to try to focus their attention on the few who are saying, I'm going to do it. So they're going to let you guys slip if you want to. You get what I'm saying? So please, brothers, please, fellas, understand that you can ride this thing as high as it goes. And when that door opens up, you will be exactly at the level where the class is, where the homes are, where the cars are, and all those different things that you want for your life. But this is the only track for it. Other people might make it, but by the masses, there's no other track set up for you. Education or no. Now I want y'all to answer that for me. Education or no?